What's up, guys? I'm JJ,
I'm Angel.
and this is PM Football. Today, we're going to be doing our mock draft 3.0. The last free agent domino, or one of the last free agent dominoes, have just fallen. Russell Wilson has signed a deal with the New York Giants. They just brought in Jameis. Let's talk about it for a little bit.
Yeah, so we had to kind of switch up last minute because of the news. But over the weekend when the Jameis deal happened, we talked about it. We were together. I liked the move. I thought he was the perfect bridge quarterback. Not to say I didn't think Russ was still an option. I just didn't think it would be this early from the Winston signing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. I think Russ is going to go into week one as the starter.
Yeah, the contract has incentive. It's an incentive-based contract where he can earn up to $21 million, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably going to be starting.
Yeah, I would think so.
Regardless of the signing, we're going to hop right into the mock draft with the first pick. That is over to you.
Yep, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock. There's been a lot of talks and meetings, it seems like, with Cam and the Titans. You can't roll out with Will Levis next year. We're going to keep it simple with the first overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. The Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami. Like I said, you can't roll out with Will Levis. It just seems like there's been a lot of conversation between Cam, his team, and the Titans. It just seems like that's the direction they're going to go in, so we're going to go with Cam here.
No move in free agency that they've made has told me otherwise.
I agree, yeah.
Moving on to the second pick. With the second pick, we're going to have the Cleveland Browns selecting Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado. The Browns didn't get Russ. Like, that's the big domino we were waiting on for them to fall.
I agree, yeah.
And they were the team that did not end up getting him. You still have Deshaun. You trade for Kenny Pickett.
Yes.
I don't think they're probably feeling very comfortable rolling out either of those two starting next year. So why not take a chance here in Shedeur? You could start Deshaun still if you don't feel Shedeur's ready, but you just have no certainty of being able to have the second pick.
I say you at least get that option to have.
Yeah, and like I was about to say, like, you don't know if you're going to ever have the second pick again. He might not be the best quarterback prospect we've ever seen, but he's a good quarterback prospect, and that's the position you need the most on a football team. So I think they take a chance here with Shedeur.
Yeah, I agree. Number 3, we have the New York Giants. Just talked about they got Russell Wilson. Both of the two top quarterbacks off the board now. You just go best available, a potential generational talent here. With the third overall pick, the New York Giants select Travis Hunter, athlete out of Colorado. I think there's a decent chance he plays both sides of the ball here. I think, obviously, he's more of a corner than receiver, but I absolutely see them having packages with Travis being a receiver on the offense. You just need talent on that team, and he adds great talent, not only defensively, but offensively.
Now, I've seen hypotheticals about how much he's going to play of each side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm growing more towards I would have him play receiver and have him play red zone defense.
I don't know. I think he's a better corner than receiver. I think he's a very talented receiver. I just think he, as a football player, adds more in the cornerback position than the receiver position. Not saying he can't add to the receiver position. I just think he is more naturally a corner.
I don't disagree. That'd be cool. Either way, he's playing both sides.
But it's
to some degree.
It's really cool though that we could even have this discussion though about a player.
Not
only a player like this, a top 3 pick potentially.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really cool not only to see where he goes, but see what happens in his rookie year throughout the season with how much he plays on offense, how much he plays on defense, and kind of where they align him with that.
All right, moving on to number 4, we got the New England Patriots, and with the 4th pick, the New England Patriots are going to be selecting Abdul Carter, defensive end out of Penn State. You guys just hit the lottery. Like, you got the number 1 player in the draft falling all the way to number 4.
I can't remember the last time, like, the number 1 player, talent-wise in the class, falls to 4.
I mean, we've seen it happen when there's people at the top that just need quarterback.
I guess.
But, like, not being picked second out of a non-quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, that player's usually picked first after those quarterbacks go.
No, I agree. Yeah.
The Giants are just in a situation where they need corner more. and the Patriots benefit from it.
Yeah.
They get the best player in the draft. There's not much to be said about him. Like, he is the best player in the draft.
And you brought it up, I think, last week, where this is now 3 straight drafts where the Patriots get true, like,
blue chip players
that you truly build your organization around. You get Christian Gonzalez. Next year you get Drake May, and now you get Abdul Carter. Like,
there's a 3 cornerstones.
I was about to say, like, this could be a really great start and run to a potential. I don't want to call it dynasty because a lot has to happen, but like the Patriots could be really good for a lot of years to come if they make the right moves.
I agree.
Number 5, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Feel like there's a few different places we could go here, but I think we're going to stay consistent with our first 2 mocks. With the 5th overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Mason Graham, D tackle out of Michigan. Just like the first 2, we feel like you guys solidify the trenches. Like I said, there's several things you can head on, but solidify your trenches, solidify your defense. I think it could be a solid pick for Jacksonville.
I agree. He's the most consistent, if not one of the most consistent players in this entire draft.
Yeah, especially with talks of potentially Jacksonville moving on from Trayvon Walker. Like, you do need to add to your line.
And Gladstone said in his press conference, like, we did it on purpose of who we signed. Like, we leave room for rookies to come in and play right away.
And I like that approach.
And they have not addressed the defensive tackle position, so I think it's a pretty obvious pick here.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 6, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. With the 6th pick, the Raiders are going to be selecting Will Campbell, offensive lineman out of LSU. A lot of people have Genty going here, and I get it. I can understand wanting Genty. He's one of the best players in the entire draft. The only problem is you got DJ Glaze starting at right tackle right now. Now, a lot of people project Will to move inside at the next level. I think the Raiders are a perfect spot for him to go out to tackle, start out at tackle, try it out. If it doesn't work, you kick him inside because you could use a guard too. Mm-hmm. Genty's the flashy pick. Campbell, to me, is the smart pick. So I like this.
Yeah, I like it too. At number 7, we have the New York Jets. And with the 7th overall pick, the New York Jets select Armand Membu, offensive lineman out of Missouri. Another guy that you could see potentially move to inside. I would like to see what he could do at the tackle position. But regardless, the Jets could use O-line pretty much almost anywhere on that offensive line. This dude's really talented. He's been shooting up boards.
I was going to say, he's in contention to be the first guy off the board.
He's up there, and it makes sense when you look at his film. He just adds so much to the run game with his aggression, his hand fighting, the way his aim point, his leveraging, like, he just adds so much. So I think this would be a great pick for the Jets.
Yep. Moving on to number 8, we got the Carolina Panthers. And with the 8th pick, the Carolina Panthers are going to be selecting Jalen Walker, linebacker out of Georgia. They just need an elite defensive player. They have Derek Brown up front. You can't really name another guy. They signed J.C. Horn to an extension. You kind of need to attack defense after just paying a corner that much money. They just paid him like $20-something million a year. You got to help bring another elite defender, and we both feel like Jalen Walker is that type of player. You could go receiver here. I would not hate it at all. We just personally, and I mean, yeah, both of us agree, Jalen Walker's better than any of the receivers at this pick, and he would bring more of an impact to that team right now.
I've said for months now, I feel like there's discussions that Jalen Walker could be the second best overall defender in the entire class. I've been very high on him for a while now, so I absolutely love this pick for Carolina. At number 9, we have the New Orleans Saints. With the number 9 pick, the New Orleans Saints select Kelvin Banks Jr., tackle out of Texas. A lot of things they can address here. I think if you want to get serious about turning a franchise around, you got to build through the trenches. We give them the best O-lineman available, and that's Kelvin Banks Jr. He just adds a lot to a line. I think he could solidify an entire side of the line. So we'll see where they go with this.
He's just a veteran player. Like, he's been a starter.
He has a lot of
for
reps.
3 years.
I would say he has a lot of reps, and that's what you want out of an offensive lineman, a guy that's not going to go in confused or worried about certain things.
And I mean, if you want to try Spencer Rattler for another season, why not make the line as good as you can make it to make it as easy as for him?
I was going to say that I like this pick a lot because I don't think whoever starts for them this year is going to be their starter next year or the year after. no matter what, you at least have a solidified tackle to where you could throw anyone out there and know no matter what side he's on, you at least don't have to worry about that side.
No, I totally
So that's
agree.
why I like this pick.
Yeah. With the 10th pick, the Chicago Bears are on the board. And with the 10th pick, the Chicago Bears are going to be selecting Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. Ben Johnson is their head coach now. They are going to want to establish the run game. They have Swift. They have Roschon Johnson. It's kind of like when they took Jahmyr Gibbs. They just want that home run hitter in the backfield.
Very similar spots as well. Jahmyr went 12.
Yeah.
So
This is... They've addressed the offensive line. That was their biggest question mark going into the offseason. They've addressed it. Maybe could use a tackle, but the 3 tackles are off the board at this point. You get the best player on the board with Ashton Jeanty, and it makes a ton of sense.
yeah, I agree. It absolutely makes sense. At number 11, we have a trade. The Denver Broncos trade up from 20 all the way to number 11. They give up a second this year, a 6th round this year, a 2nd next year, and a 4th next year to come up and get the guy they believe could be their number 1 weapon.
Yep.
With the 11th overall pick, the Denver Broncos select T-Mac, receiver out of Arizona. He is the first receiver off the board. Denver,
First position player off the board.
yeah, you're right.
Other than Ashton.
Yeah.
I mean, Travis. But regardless, he's corner.
The first pure receiver coming off the board. Denver needs a lot of help when it comes to their offensive weapons. There's a few different players we thought could go here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just moved the mic. You need to help Bo Nix out.
Yeah.
He did really well for offense that doesn't really have a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
Help him out some more. If he could do that with the receivers they have now, he could do a lot more with a talent like T-Mac. So I think it will be very smart for Denver to trade up and get the guy they believe is the best receiver in the class because he's not going to be there at 20.
I agree. With the 12th pick, the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. And with the 12th pick, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be selecting Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas. They really do need to address the offensive line. But I think the top end of receiver talent at the top of the draft is better than the offensive linemen that are still on the board.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of Matthew
I
Golden.
am too. Yeah.
I think Matthew Golden can go in and play with CeeDee Lamb right away, and they'd be one of the best combos in the league. They're both really good route runners, good speed. I just think they would complement each other really well. Dak hasn't really had any other receivers other than CeeDee Lamb there. They had Brandon Cooks for a couple of years, but who's really scared of Brandon Cooks, to be honest?
Yeah. He's aging.
Yeah, exactly. Golden comes in, probably going to go for 80 and close to 1,000 yards, I think, first season. They just want to throw the ball. Yeah. That's the type of team they are. They've refused to address the run game. They signed Javonte Williams in free agency. Go ahead with that, I guess. See how that works out. It's better than what they had last year, I guess. Yep. But I think Matthew Golden helps that offense a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think anyone would doubt that. You at least give Dak another weapon in that offense. For sure. So that's good. At 13, we have the Miami Dolphins. With the 13th overall pick, the Miami Dolphins select Tyler Booker, interior offensive lineman out of Alabama. We've raved about this guy. He doesn't have a lot of downsides. He is one of the safest, if not the safest pick in the entire draft. And it's perfect for Miami, who drastically needs consistency in that offensive line room.
Yeah.
And he adds that on day one. So Tyler Booker is going to Miami for us in this mock draft.
If you can draft a guy that can keep Tua upright,
yes,
you're doing the right thing.
Absolutely. You need to.
Especially with the guy. We think he's the most consistent player in this draft.
Absolutely. I think he is the safest. I don't see a... Of course, it's a scenario where it doesn't work out, but yeah. I just don't see it. He's so talented.
Yeah, super high floor. Next, we got the Colts with the 14th pick. And with this pick, we're going to have the Colts select Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. Mini fall for him. I think a lot of people have him very, very highly ranked. Maybe even a little higher than we would have him. We both think he's going to be a really, really good player. I think we both still have the 2 receivers over him at this point. It's close.
It is.
But
it is.
Regardless, I think the Colts would love a guy like Tyler Warren. just gives Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones another guy to throw the ball to.
Lord.
That's a different story for another day. But regardless who's playing quarterback for the Colts, you need another weapon. And Tyler Warren's a big body guy that can get open. Yeah. And I think that makes life a lot easier for whoever's playing quarterback for them.
Absolutely, I agree. At number 15, we have the Atlanta Falcons. I don't want to call it a mistake last year. It was just a surprise. They're not going to go with a surprise here. With the 15th overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Williams, edge rusher out of Georgia. A lot of people have Michael going in the top 10, understandably so. If I'm Atlanta, I'm running to the podium. He offers so much athletically, and they address a need they've been needing for years now.
And he stays home.
Exactly. So I think this is a home run pick for Atlanta. I love this a lot for them.
Yeah, no, we both really are highly rated on Michael Williams. Probably should be a top 10 pick, like you said.
Arguably, absolutely. He's arguably a top 10 guy.
He played hurt all last year.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit. When he was healthy, he was taking over games.
I'm so happy you said that because I was literally about to say, when you look at his games where he's quote-unquote healthy, he takes over entire games, entire drives, entire quarters. Like, he's just so dominant athletically. It's hard to pass up on a guy like that, and he falls all the way to 15. So,
yeah.
Atlanta, you are welcome.
Makes up your mistake for missing a verse. Even though
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to call it a mistake. It was just a surprise.
Yeah. With the 16th pick, the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock, and with the 16th pick, we are going to have them selecting Will Johnson, DB out of Michigan. We both think Will Johnson is one of, if not the best corner in the entire draft.
Yeah, pure corner. Yeah.
He's starting to fall, and I'm honestly not too sure. I think a big part of the reason he is falling is because the tape last year wasn't as good as the year before, but he's another guy that was hurt. He had a lot of injuries last season, wasn't playing 100% in any of the games he was in, and was still playing well. The hardest thing to do to watch him, they just don't throw the ball his way. So you can't really gauge how tough it is going to be for him at the next level because no one tests him.
I completely agree, and I also want to add, it's not necessarily a bad thing if your name's not being talked about as a corner during games. That means you're shutting down your side. So I absolutely agree. A part of a reason why he could be sliding down is because, his name isn't getting called on game day. But when you look at the film, you see him shutting down entire sides. So I feel like this is a great fall for Arizona because you're getting a top 2 guy in his position all the way at 16.
Yeah. Without moving. Like, you have to move.
Absolutely. I think it's a great pick for Arizona.
Yeah.
17, we have Cincinnati. They need to address the defense here. It was their downfall last year. With the 17th overall pick, the Cincinnati Bengals select Shamar Stewart, edge rusher out of Texas A&M. A lot of potential here. His stats didn't exactly show it when it comes to the sacks, but when you do watch the film, he's there.
Yeah.
If he could just clean up some stuff, there's a chance he could be a special player in the league. And especially, you don't really know what's happening with Trey Hendrickson. And
Sam Hubbard retires.
I was about to say, I'm blanking on his name. I'm happy you said it. He did retire. You need to address edge rush position, and you do here at 17 with a guy that has high potential.
Yeah, after spending every single dollar you have on the offense,
you gotta get young on the defense now.
You gotta draft defense for the next 3 years, probably. Yeah. Like,
we did not rehearse that. That's
no,
pretty cool.
Like, they have.
That's
to.
The reality of it. Yeah, that's the reality of it.
Your offense is gonna be elite.
Yeah.
Like, you have, they're gonna
assuming everyone's healthy.
As long as they're healthy, that offense will be elite.
Yeah.
If you can hit on a couple good players, and a guy like Shamar, with the upside that he has, he is a guy you need to take a chance on here.
Yeah, I completely agree.
With the 18th pick, it's the Seattle Seahawks, and with the 18th pick, we're going to have them selecting Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama. Flies around the field. If you guys have watched
so highly,
if you watched any of our mock drafts before, we love Jahad Campbell. Yeah. The Seahawks can try to recreate Bobby Wagner potentially with this.
I would even say he is a different linebacker than Bobby Wagner because, yes, Bobby Wagner is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but no one, his coverage ability wasn't his strong suit. Even when he was in his prime, no one raved about his coverage ability per se. We could rave a lot about Jahad Campbell's coverage ability. Yeah. Is some of the best coverage ability I've seen in a linebacker probably ever.
He has all the other skills.
Yes,
it's not just like he's a coverage type of line. Like, he can do it all.
I love how physical he is, how fast he is.
Sideline to sideline.
How he reads the game so well.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much great things to say about Jahad Campbell. And honestly, I think it's a steal here at 18.
I do too.
At 19, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's one of those teams where there's not a lot of needs. It's more about luxury picks. But I do think this specific position is a need now after free agency. With the 19th overall pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jahdae Barron, DB out of Texas. Jahdae could do a lot of things. I don't need to repeat myself because we've talked about it in the first two mock drafts. You could play him almost anywhere along the DB room / corner position. He offers a lot. He really does. He's so versatile. I would like to see him be a little more aggressive, but with his style of play, I don't blame him for not being over aggressive. I think this is a great pick at 19 for Tampa Bay to strengthen their defense.
Absolutely agree. He's just a guy. He's a chess piece. Like, you can literally move him everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Good tackler. Again, maybe not the most aggressive player in the world, but an over-aggressive corner is hard to get out of that mindset.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. With his play style, I don't even necessarily blame him for not being over-aggressive because he has great makeup speed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's also a very smart player, so I don't blame him for not being over-aggressive. And that's something, if you have a good coach in the NFL, could kind of teach you, hey, this is when to be aggressive. This is when to be more conservative. If they run this route in this formation and you see this route, jump here, jump there. Like, if he has a coach like that, it will only elevate his game more and give him more confidence.
I totally agree.
So I will be very interested to see what Jahdae does in this defense if he were to go to Tampa with Todd Bowles.
Yep. Moving on to number 20, the Niners traded back to this pick with the Broncos, and with the 20th pick, the Niners are going to be selecting Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia.
Completely forgot that's on me, Coach.
You're good.
My bad, Coach.
Niners just go BPA right here. Yeah. I honestly think Starks is the best player on the board. They probably need to address offensive line, but that is why you trade back. You gain the additional second this season. Now you have that second. You have 2 seconds to potentially even trade up in the second, and you end up with Malachi Starks. Like, you lose Hufanga in the offseason. It's a big hole to fill. Why not fill it with the best safety in the draft? Such a versatile player. Has great ball skills, good tackler, can fly around the field. Really, like, we've talked about these players so much at this point that, like, we're just trying to give you
a reason why we went this player instead of like another player.
Yeah.
But no, I completely agree with everything you said. I love this move for the 49ers because you get so much capital back and you still get a player who's the best player in their position for this class. And you, like I said, you get more draft capital out of it. Like, I think this is a massive win. And not only that, it's a position that you just lost in free agency. So you address it with someone who's younger and cheaper. So
probably better.
Yeah, like, I can't disagree with you. Yeah, so this is a massive win for San Francisco. At 21, this took us.
Go with it real quick, and then we'll get into it.
With the 21st overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jackson Dart, quarterback out of Ole Miss. Now, and please butt in whenever you want because this is a
heated discussion.
Yeah, this is a collaborative mock.
Yes.
As well as the first two. There's different ways they could go about this. And now I just want to straight up say we are not the biggest Jackson Dart fans.
No.
However, you can't deny, even if Pittsburgh were to get Aaron Rodgers, that doesn't solidify that position for the next, let's even say 2 to 3 years.
I would say this year.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you. Like I said, there was a lot of back and forth. And at the end of the day, you need to address the most important position on the field. There's been a lot of talks about there are going to be 3 quarterbacks going in the first round this year. And could that be a smokescreen? Maybe. But from the different talks and rumors that are going around, it does seem like there will be 3 quarterbacks going in the first round this year. We have to make Pittsburgh address a gaping problem on their team at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
So we went with Jackson Dart.
We were really torn between Dart and Hampton.
Yeah.
They really need a running back as well. But like you said, quarterback is the position that is going to win and lose you football games.
Yeah.
And we, like he said, are not the biggest Jackson Dart fans.
Not at all.
But even if you were to sign Aaron Rodgers and he was to go in there and stink it up, then what? What are you going to do? You're going to play Mason Rudolph
or
again?
even, let's say hypothetically, he does better than he does last year. He makes you a playoff team. Are you comfortable going into next season hoping the same thing happens?
He's 42.
Exactly. You need to just address it somehow.
And then I think the biggest reason as to why we ended up going with Dart here is you're probably going to be in this position next year.
It looks like it, yes.
Draft-wise, like position-wise. Even though the class might be better next year, I think a lot of those quarterbacks are going to be going a lot earlier than a pick 21.
Yeah.
You aren't going to have a chance to take the third best quarterback in the class next year as opposed to this year.
Yeah.
So I think it might not be the best pick or the pick that I would make, but I think it's the pick that makes the most sense.
Yeah, we're not doing this mock as this is what we would do. We're doing this mock as what we think will happen in less than a month.
Yeah.
Like it's coming up. So in less than a month, we think Pittsburgh will be ringing up Jackson Dart's phone and the commissioner will say his name and everyone's going to be going crazy. We'll see what happens. This is what makes the draft great.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen until it happens.
Jackson Dart might be a Colt.
Yeah.
Like, you never know.
You never know. So he could fall to LA. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. With the 22nd pick, it's the LA Chargers. With that pick, we're going to have them selecting Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. Another twitchy, freaky athlete at the defensive tackle position. Really love his pass rush. Good in the run game. And that's what the Chargers need. They don't really have anybody up front. They lose. I'm not saying they play the same position. They lose Bosa. Tulamalu is okay. I don't.
You need to solidify that.
I'll be honest.
Line.
They signed Puna Ford, didn't they?
Yeah.
They gave Puna Ford an extension. Two great pass rushing D tackles.
Yeah.
And then edge rusher later, maybe. I think they might have signed somebody, but like they
either way,
could
you gotta
go
address your interior defensive line.
They could go weapon here, but
Yeah.
maybe Loveland. I don't know, but
The thing with hardball football is he loves the trenches. He
Yeah.
understands you win and lose game through the trenches, so why wouldn't he address it? You know that's his style, and he addressed that last year on the offensive side. Why wouldn't he address that defensively this year?
yeah, exactly.
At 23, we have the Green Bay Packers. With the 23rd overall pick, the Green Bay Packers select Emeka Egbuka, receiver out of Ohio State. I like Egbuka a lot. I think he could come in and be Jordan Love's best friend. He adds another threat to that offense. I just think it would be a great pick for Green Bay to go here to help out Jordan Love.
Yeah, Ibuka is a very pro-style type of receiver.
Yes.
Like, he's very ready to start
It's
now.
the offense they run at Ohio State every year. It's Ohio State runs a pro-style offense. So I think he could come in right away, and it will be an easier transition for him.
Again, the only question mark here with an Ibuka to the Packers is they have so many weapons there already that, like, they just kind of get lost in the shuffle. Like, one game it's one player, one game it's another. They never have that true number one guy, and we think Ibuka could be that guy for them.
Absolutely.
So I really like that. Number 24, we got the Minnesota Vikings. With that pick, we're going to have them selecting Nick Emanwari, safety out of South Carolina. You can't keep signing Harrison Smith to one-year deals.
We like him, but
eventually
yeah,
his legs are going to fall apart. He's already 33, 34.
Yeah.
As much as we do like him as a player, you need to bring in some youth at that position.
Absolutely.
And a physical freak in Nick Emanwari. That defense was really good last year. It was okay. I don't know how about really good. It was good.
I think the defense was really good. I don't want to say fell off, but had a slower pace towards the end of the year. But I think it was a solid defense overall.
But bringing in Nick Emanwari to that room, to that defense in general,
Yeah.
I think it's a huge upgrade.
Yeah, I like Emanwari a lot. I think it's a great pick for Minnesota. At 25, we have the Houston Texans. it's no surprise. You need to address that offensive line. You pretty much lost everyone. With the 25th overall pick, the Houston Texans select Josh Simmons, tackle out of Ohio State. I feel like he could have gone a lot higher if he wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Yes.
So I think this could be a steal possibly for the Texans. You address a dire need in that offensive line.
I agree. I like you said, I think he is off the board by about 15 picks if he doesn't get hurt this year.
Possibly, yeah.
He has such great potential. It's just, man, it's a patella injury. Like, getting an offensive lineman with a knee problem in the first round is always really scary.
It's always a risk.
But I think he's worth that risk, especially of how bad you guys need offensive line.
Yeah.
With the 26th pick, we got the LA Rams. With that pick, we're going to have them selecting Luther Burden III, wide receiver out of Missouri. They just went out inside Devontae Adams. I don't care.
Realistically, is Devontae in your
You
future?
guys have showed us what you are trying to do this year. You didn't trade Matt Stafford. If you were to trade him, I don't know if Burden's the pick here.
I agree.
But you signed Matt Stafford. You guys were a game away from the NFC Championship last year. You lose to the Eagles.
I'm trying to remember if did they lose the wild card or the
No, they lost to the Eagles to play you guys.
Yeah, you're right.
If they win that game, they're in the NFC Championship.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Bring in another weapon to make that offense elite and see what happens. Luther Burden's a really good receiver. We really like him. I'm not saying he's going to replace Cooper Kupp, but he's
similar styles.
Slot type of receiver. I would say he's more so a Diggs than a Kupp. He's quicker, twitchier. He's not I don't want to say better route runner than Kupp, but he's going to be playing.
He has a lot to offer.
He's going to be playing that same position as him.
Yeah, I agree.
And so bringing a young guy, and when Adams leaves, you have Puka and Burden now.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that would be a deadly combo, honestly. At 27, we have the Baltimore Ravens. With its 27th overall pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Trey Amos, corner out of Ole Miss. I like Trey Amos a lot. I feel like there should be more people talking about him. I'll try and find the right words. More people should be talking about Trey Amos. He is more of a zone corner. Not to say he can't play man, but I really like his ability in zone. He has great instincts. He has good ball skills. I think he has a lot to offer in that DB room, so we go with Trey Amos.
He's got a nice chain.
Here. He does. Absolutely. Got some drip on him.
Yeah.
Go do good in Baltimore if you got drip.
I would be really mad if this happened.
Why?
If the Ravens were to draft Trey Amos.
Do you want him?
I love Trey Amos.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. Moving on to number 28, we got the Detroit Lions. And with this pick, we're going to have him selecting Mike Green, edge rusher out of Marshall. Falls a little bit. He's been on the rise recently.
Yeah.
There's been some character concerns with him.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly. But the Lions really need to address the pass rusher position outside of Aiden Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm. I think Mike Green's a great addition to that room.
I agree with you. It's a guy with a lot of high potential. And if you have Aiden Hutchinson and Mike Green, it's going to be a relay race at that point.
Aleem McNeil in the middle?
Absolutely. No, that if you hit here, home run.
Yeah.
A lot of high potential with Mike Green.
It doesn't matter how bad your corners are at that point.
Absolutely. At 29, we have my Washington Commanders. With the 29th overall pick, the Washington Commanders select James Pierce Jr., edge rusher out of Tennessee. He is an athletic freak and can add a lot to a D-line that desperately needs game changers and just pure athletes. He comes in on day one and is our number one edge rusher. He's going to have a lot on his plate, but Washington slowly building up that DB room. Re-signed Bobby Wagner. You already have Luvu. I think if he hits his potential, it could be an absolute game changer for Washington's defense.
Yeah, you just got to hope that the off-the-field stuff isn't true.
Again, allegedly.
Yeah.
All alleged.
Yeah. I mean, if he hits, he could be a really good player.
Absolutely.
I just better hope he hits because I think he could be a bust.
I'm definitely more high on him than you are. And that's not even because he's going to Washington. Like, I've been high on him for
I've just been super – and it's not even like I'm low on him. Like,
it sounds
I just don't remember – if people remember – like at the beginning of the season, He was projected to be the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, but that was before like there were really any college football games
I understand that, but like I didn't see anything that made him even be in consideration to be the number 1 pick. And the fact that people were talking about him like that already just made me like him even worse.
Because so it's not even like
I don't
because
think
of his film thing. It's just because
I think he's the 29th pick. I agree. I think that would be a good pick value-wise.
I think he could go a little higher.
No, I don't think he's that good. He's a first-round pick. He's the end of the first round.
He is a freak athlete.
Cool. So is Shamar, cool. And you hate him.
He has more sacks than Shamar.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? That's his job.
They have better players on the defensive line. They have more players to get involved on that defensive line. He's the only guy on that D-line.
Yeah, which kind of helps my point because the offensive lineman have to focus on other guys too, not just James Pierce. Like James Pierce is getting double teamed.
It's kind of hard to double team him when he's lined up outside of the tight end.
And he still gets to the
because no one even touches him. But regardless,
he's a freak athlete.
You guys need this. You guys need this position. It's a good value pick.
It's amazing value.
With the 30th pick, we got the Bills. With this pick, we're gonna have them selecting Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. We just need a big body in the middle. We have Daquan Jones right now.
On the big body.
We definitely need that. Ed Oliver's 6'1", 290. Like, that's not going to cut it. Daquan Jones is our nose tackle right now. He's 6'2". I don't even think he's 300 pounds. We have an under 300-pound nose tackle right now.
Yeah.
Bringing in Kenneth Grant fills a huge need on our defensive line. We signed Larry Ogunjobi in free agency. He happens to be suspended for the first 6 games. We signed Michael Hoyt. He happens to be suspended for the first 6 games. So I think D-tackle or edge are the move here. I think Kenneth Grant is the best available of those positions at this point. So I would be very happy if this happened.
Yeah, I mean, I like the strategy to it, getting a bigger body to kind of not only solidify the defensive line more, but help out the other guys that are already on that defensive line.
I think corner is definitely a question here. I just don't think I would be willing to take any of the corners over Kenneth Grant at this point. I like Maxwell Hairston. I think he's a good player. I like Azariah. I just think Kenneth Grant fills a bigger need for us right now and is the better player of those 2 corners.
I get you. At 31, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. The offensive line was the reason they didn't win the Super Bowl this past season, so we address it here. With the 31st overall pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Gray Zabel, offensive lineman out of North Dakota State.
Before you go on him, I'm so happy you finally got hip to who he is.
So I was going to address that. Yeah. I have publicly said I am not usually a fan of FCS players going in the first round simply because of the level of competition they play. Not saying it's easy to play against FCS players. Like those guys are still super talented, but compared to like P4 and group of 5, I guess now 6 guys, it's still better talent than what you're facing the FCS.
Yeah.
However, I watched this guy film, and I can't deny, like, what's so funny?
I watched this guy film.
I watched this guy's football.
I watched this guy film.
I watched him on the field, and I can't deny he has a lot of talent. Yeah. And I was wrong about him. I am a fan of Gray Zabel.
Now I got you thinking about what you're going to say.
I mean, it's already been a long day. I'm already thinking about.
I didn't mean to.
My brain's like mush. Like, what did we say earlier in the year? Like Polynesian mashed potatoes.
Yeah, like Tua.
Yeah, like Tua.
Yeah.
That's what my brain's like.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know you got sacked too.
A different kind.
Whoa, we're one pick away, and you had to go.
All right. Yeah, I don't think he played tackle at North Dakota State. I don't think you could play him at tackle in the NFL. I think he could be a really solid guard. I've heard talks about him possibly moving at center.
Yeah, he played there at the Senior Bowl.
Exactly. So either way, anywhere in the interior, I think he adds greatly to that.
Absolutely. With the final pick in the draft, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be selecting Donovan Ezaraku. Just a speed rusher. Like, they always end up getting these guys that are just really good at rushing the passer. 2 to 3 years, this guy's going to be an all-pro player. Like, that's just what happens. They took Hassan Reddick from the Cardinals, right?
I think.
And they turned. That's Hassan Reddick, if I've ever seen one in a prospect. No, does that not perfectly fit?
I'm not necessarily disagreeing.
He's a speed rusher that is gonna probably get.
Son Reddick's more of a stand-up edge rusher. I think he's more of a hand in the dirt. Not to say he can't stand up.
I think you can utilize him.
Absolutely, I'm not saying you can't. But
he's fast, can bend the edge. They do it again. Like, I don't know what else to say.
I completely agree. Howie Roseman has been very vocal.
And I'll be honest, regardless whoever this pick was, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. No, Howie Roseman has been very vocal about loving drafting the trenches, and he does it again this year.
Yeah. So. As a Rock, you're just very sad at this point.
Yeah, and I also got a sneeze.
Oh.
I'm trying to contain myself. But yeah, that's our mock draft 3.0. Is there a guy here that you feel like would be the steal of the draft?
Honestly, talent-wise, I think Mike Green. Mike Green falling all the way to 28. I think that would be perfect pick for the Lions. Like, they need that other edge rusher.
Yeah.
To line up with Aiden. Like, if they can get those two going, like, it's impossible to throw against them. Aiden was getting 3 sacks a game before he went down last year. Yeah. Imagine if he's getting double team and you have Mike Green on the other side. Mike Green's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I like that answer. I have 2 simply because I feel like they're both kind of cheating. Sorry, back to the logo. I have 2 simply because I feel like they're both kind of cheating. One, I really like James Pierce at 29. I feel like his value is a lot higher. I'm not saying that he could have gone at 28 to the Lions. I feel like it would have been a steal of the draft. Like, I am really high on James Pierce. What?
Oh, one pick. One more pick ahead.
But I'm saying, like, I'm not saying I think he's a steal simply because it's Washington. I'm saying, like, I think he is better than a late first.
All right, let me rephrase mine. Actually, mine is Kenneth Grant. I really think. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just. You really think it's James Pierce? That's what he should be.
Of mine. No, I disagree. I think he could be a top 20 pick.
I don't see it.
A lot of people think he could be a top 20 pick.
No one has him in the first round anymore.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I guarantee you look up a Bucky Brooks mock draft right now.
No, not Dude, Bucky Brooks.
He was the newest one.
Bucky Brooks had Jackson Dart being the 3rd overall pick like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was before any of the quarterbacks signed.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm not looking at Bucky Brooks.
He went.
I want to prove you. I'll just click on a random mock draft.
He's not going in the first round right now. I'm telling you. There's too many character concerns going around with him. Let's click on a random one. Again, it's not like I hate him. I just don't love him. Clearly, I don't love him. Well, you're the same way with Shamar. You can't tell me because no reason. 1.5 sacks. Like, that's not a concern to you? No, that's crazy. The film speaks for itself. He doesn't have literally, James. He doesn't have good film. Just from Sports Illustrated, random one. I don't know. Sorry, this takes over. We could probably edit this to zoom it because he's not in there, is he? I don't know. Number 1, there's so many ads popping up. Just keep scrolling. I'm going. He's not gonna be in the top 10, so keep scrolling. We don't know that. What's wild is this one's pretty similar to ours. This Ashton goes to the Raiders. Keep going. We don't want to spoil any of his picks for anybody that doesn't want to know who he is. Hold on. Settle down. I'm definitely editing this, and it's going to be like super fast speed because it's going to be like 10 minutes later. Yeah. Still can't find James Pierce in the 4th round. Mike Hill to the Falcons, like we said. Will Johnson to 17. Gray Zabel at 18. That's crazy. Gray Zabel had Jihad is crazy. You want to know what? I looked at this mock earlier. He's not in here. No, because I didn't know who you were on. 1 hour ago, 3-rounder. Pro Football Network. Redo the look for the mock. Abdul went to the Giants is pretty crazy. Not a lot of James Pierce. Love out there anyway. You need to slow down, Bucko. I can hear your thoughts. Just tell me how you find James Pierce.
Hold on, give me a moment. James Pierce to Washington.
Okay, that's exactly where I said.
No, I honestly think he could go higher.
You just looked at 3 mocks and no one had
looked him. I looked at 1.5 because the other one was like I looked at it earlier. We'll wait till less than a month. We'll have answers in less than a month. That's what makes the draft great. Anyway,
we cutting this whole last part out.
Probably. We're gonna have to kill off it.
That was you literally just sat there for 5 minutes on James Pierce one time.
Because it was like 1.5 attempts. But my steal of the draft 1B, and the reason I say 1B is because it's the same guy I had last week. It's Malachi Starks. I'm just really high on Malachi Starks. Not to say I think he should go so much sooner than 20, but I do think he's like a top 15 prospect.
And I think the biggest one we missed is Abdul Carter. You get Abdul Carter at number 4.
Yeah, I guess when you look at it from that view, sure. Or what am I talking about? Will Johnson. Will Johnson at 16, I think, is another good one.
I just think Abdul is the number one player in the
I
draft.
agree with you. Yeah.
And to get him at 4 is the biggest deal.
I agree with you. Yeah. So, anything you would like to say before we close this up?
Let us know what pick you like the most. What
Yeah.
pick you didn't like at all.
Yeah.
James Pierce?
Why do you hate James Pierce so much? I don't understand.
'Cause he
I
doesn't
don't
go in the
understand
first.
how you hate James Pierce so much, but you're in love with 1.5 sack Shamar Stewart. Like, that doesn't comprehend with me. I don't get that.
I think his athleticism,
Literally, James Pierce is a freak out.
power, speed combo is going to be great at the next level.
Yep, and he's gonna have 3 sacks, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be an amazing 3 sacks.
You don't think he can do that with the Bengals?
I mean, and not to say he can. Again, high potential. Like, I'm not saying there's no chance. I'm just saying based off what I saw, I don't think he's gonna be a 10 sack guy. Like, I really
he will.
don't. I think he's another Montez Sweat.
And I think James Pierce attacked McKinley. So
You could think, just know you're wrong.
I mean, there's no, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. We'll see in less than a month. That's what makes this great.
Yep.
Like you said, let us know what you like. Let us know what you didn't like. What we got wrong. What we got right. What
Sorry there weren't that many trades in this one. We just we talked about this a little bit off camera. We like a lot of the players in this draft. We just don't think there's any
who's
player
sitting up for who.
Exactly. We don't think any of these players are trade upable.
And
if
not only
makes
that,
sense.
the teams aren't being aggressive right now. Not to say they won't be later. We're just basing this off of how things are kind of rolling and going as of now. And there's not a lot of things happening right now.
It's very stagnant right now.
Exactly.
It's in the smoke. We're getting to the smoke screen time.
Absolutely.
Where we're gonna hear,
Jackson
Shador
Dart's the
Sanders.
second best quarterback.
Oh, we're hearing Shador Sanders might not be a first round pick.
Yeah.
And then he's the second pick in the draft.
Yeah, like you said, we're going to hear stuff like, I'm trying to think of a good example, and it's not going to come out right.
Tyler Warren's a top 5 pick.
Amara Hampton's the top running back in the class. Like, there's just going to be a lot of things to blow other teams like in different directions.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe, share the video, help us get out there more. That would be really appreciated.
Get us to 50 subscribers.
Something.
We want to be able to live stream at some point.
Yeah, we would like for it to be an option.
Yes.
At least. Follow us on Twitter at PM Football Podcast. Follow us on TikTok as well at PM Football Podcast. Again, like, subscribe, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.